Yo, what is up guys? FNCS is back, and today we are going to be looking at 5 things that you need to do if you want to get your best placement ever. Alright, so the first thing when it comes to getting a good FNCS placement is to know the meta, and this meta is all about the Fizz Jar. This is the main mobility in the game and is by far better than all of the others, but there are a couple things you have to know. Alright, so as you probably already know, the Fizz Jar gives you a boosted jumping effect that helps you travel greater distances while under the effect. The effect lasts for 15 seconds and is a great way to move around the map quickly, especially in those stacked endgames. It's very important that one or both of you in your duo is carrying one of these at all times, and specifically the Fizz Jar. The reason why you don't want to carry Fizz Berries if at all possible is because the berries only have the effect for 5 seconds and you only can carry them in stacks of 6, making them much less effective as a mobility item than the Fizz Jar. Now, 2 quick notes when you're using the Fizz Jar is number 1, you want to make sure you aren't jumping too much when using the effect. The important thing is that you go, you slide, and then you jump during your rotate. If you straight up jump off your box or out of high ground or something like that, I promise you 9 times out of 10 you are going to get beamed and you will die. And the second quick note about using the Fizz Jar is to pre-pop the fizz before the zone pulls and before you need to rotate. If you see on your minimap that the new zone is about to reveal itself in about 10 seconds, look where you're gonna need to go, pop the fizz with about 10 to 5 seconds left because there is a few second delay, and then that 15 seconds will last you on the first leg of your rotate until your sprint runs out. Once your sprint and your fizz run out, box up for a second, regather yourselves, fizz again, and then complete the rotate. That is how you should utilize the Fizz Jar, and that's how you can maximize it on your rotates. Alright, so now that we've gotten that out of the way, we're going to go into step number 2, which is having a good solid game plan. So many of us go into these tournaments and we have no clue what we're doing. We just go in, play the first game, no plan in our heads, we just do whatever happens and we hope for the best. That is not what you want to do if you want to have a good tournament. To break this down for you guys, game number 1, as you probably guessed, is your key game. The goal of game number 1 is to get about 20 or 30 kills if you're a good fighter, and that should set you at about 100 points if you can clutch up the win. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, but that is your goal for the first game. After your first game, it is absolutely important that you only focus on the win. The win is worth 65 points in this meta. Kills are only worth 2, and for most of us out here, it's going to be a lot easier to get those heavy placement points in the top 5 than it is to be going for high kill games once we're up a little bit higher on the leaderboards. So after you've had your first game, regardless of the outcome, play for placement and stagger your matches like that. Your goal for the entire tournament should be to play about 3 games every hour. That's about 2 full games and maybe 1 game where you die off spawn or where you die a few minutes into the game, but the rest of the games you want to have 6 or 7 good games where you're getting top 5 finishes with a handful of kills, and that is what you're going to need if you want to qualify for round 2. Alright, now that you've got your game plan, you've got all your nitty gritty set out, you want to have confidence. There are going to be a lot of players competing, and for a lot of you that may be new to comp or maybe you haven't had the greatest experience with it, one thing that's extremely important is to play to the best of your abilities and to know that you're gonna do well. That doesn't mean run at every single person you see. Like we said, you need to be playing for endgames, but you need to be confident when you see a fight or when you have a good play to go for it and take full advantage of those opportunities, and to also know when it's not the right time and when you need to go for something like a smarter rotate. Alright guys, the 4th and maybe one of the most important tips for this video before we get into the final one is to hydrate. So many people in the video game world just only focus on caffeine when they're playing. They drink an energy drink or they have some pre-workout or something like that, and they really boost their caffeine and they think it's going to get them super energized and it's going to get them playing insane. But the truth is you need to stay very hydrated and drink lots of water in the hours leading up to the tournament if you want to give your brain the best opportunity it can to perform at its highest. So drink lots of water, stay away from the caffeinated and the sugary drinks, and you will see so much improvement and you will be so much more consistent throughout all of your games. Your energy also won't hit that crazy spike and then fall off towards the end of the tournament, where you need to be at your absolute best, where it really comes down to the wire. Now, speaking about the end of the tournament, our final tip is to stay calm. Again, it's FNCS, it's the biggest tournament of the season, and for a lot of people that don't really have a huge history in comp, that is very intimidating, and the nerves definitely start to get you, especially if you find yourself at a spot higher up in the leaderboard towards the end of the tournament, and you start to get a little bit nervous, you start to get jittery, you start missing shots, and you start making some really bad decisions that you wouldn't make if you were at a lower level. My biggest tip for helping you guys and your nerves in this is to, number one, set yourself some reasonable expectations. It's just a tournament, it's just a game, it doesn't matter. After that, there's some physical things you can do to help your nerves and to stay calm throughout the entire tournament. And the first one is you can actually chew gum. Chewing gum and using your jaw muscles will actually relieve some of the tension you feel throughout the tournament and help you stay more relaxed. The other one is to focus on your breathing. If you feel yourself tensing up or panicking or getting a bit frantic, sit in a box for 5 seconds and tell yourself to breathe. Take 5 deep breaths, slowly inhale, slowly exhale, and if your teammate's getting a little nervous, have them do the same. It sounds crazy, but guys, it actually works. And if you do this consistently, you will program your brain to stay calm even in those scuffed situations. That's all I have for you guys today. And again, best of luck. If you're watching this video after the first round of SFNCS is already over, leave a comment down below. Let me know how you guys did. I'm cheering for all of you, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace.